Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel, and as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we are doing promotion and relegation in college football. I'm English. Promotion and relegation is how I know sports, so I thought I'd introduce it into college football and see how it goes. Can we get a team go from the bottom right to the top? This is going to be a very, very long journey. We are taking, hopefully, Rice from the bottom to the top. But let's have a look at the divisions and see what is going on. So starting at the top, we have the SEC. This is the Premiership, essentially. The best of the best are in this conference. Going down the list, you can see why these are the best teams in college football. However, come the end of the first season, one of these teams will get relegated down to the second division, which is the Big 12 in this case. So what I did, I just went through and sorted it by star rating. I could have done overalls potentially, like Texas A&M, they could have been in the SEC, but I went through star rating and worked it all out and went down this way. I think it took about a little bit just over an hour to do this. I mean, I was doing a couple of other things at the same time, but yes. Third division, we have the Big 10. I just thought it'd be a fun take on college football. I mean, it's kind of, I have taken the idea a little bit from Tugi, watching his videos last year. Next we have the Pac-12. Yeah, he did this last year, promotion and relegation. He started with the Ball State Cardinals and tried to work his way up. He did have restrictions on who he could recruit. Like, it was only once he hit a certain threshold, going up a couple of divisions, he could then start recruiting like 2 stars from 1 stars, etc. But yes, that was definitely a fun watch. It inspired me to have a go. Next up we have the ACC. I really do hope we do get a one team starting from, toward the middle, toward the bottom, and just work their way up. It would be awesome to see. Next up we have the Mountain West Conference. I haven't actually done a test of these yet, so it might not work. I have gone through and made sure there are championship games. There have to be a certain amount of conference games played every year, so hopefully it works. Otherwise, this would be just a huge waste of my time. The American Conference is up next. One of the divisions, it might be this one. It does have quite a few people in, but hopefully it does all work. We have the MAC up. This is the big one, the MAC. I've never really messed around with conferences before in college football. Well, my first college football game was last year's, so I don't know if we'll get this worked out. It would be nice. Hopefully it doesn't break the game. We will see come the end of the year though if we do have championship games. Then we have the Sun Belt. I have obviously split it up into East and West. So we'll start with the East. I'm guessing some teams will have to be travelling a lot more than what they're used to do these games, but let's just imagine lots of money has been pumped into this to help with travel costs. And we have the final conference. And yes, so we will be playing as Rice in this last conference with the aim of getting all the way up to the SEC. So how am I going to do the promotion and relegation? There's a couple of ways I could do it. I could maybe follow the Independents, Akron and Kent State. So yes, I could either go with conference record. You can only get promoted if you do well winning your games in a conference, or I could go overall record. But I guess that cheapens it a little bit because some teams could have a few games against lower teams on purpose, and get promoted that way. So we'll probably skip that one, and we'll go with the best conference record goes up, the worst conference record goes down. And if there are ties, I'll look at points scored and stuff like that. But yes, I'm excited to see how this goes. Originally, I wasn't going to have a team, just like sort of just go through it year by year and see what happens. But let's go with this will be my long-term save on this game. So yeah, Rice is going to be the team. So let's go through and have a look at this team. It's not great, but that's to be expected. We're down in the bottom division. We're not going to have an awesome team. The QBs though, let's talk about the situation. At the minute, they all currently have deal breakers which we aren't hitting. So QB recruitment might be the way to look for this recruitment class. I believe we're going to be starting with Drew DeVilliers. He's a freshman. He's a pocket passer, 6'5" with 90 throw power. I think it's probably going to be the way to go with him. The running back room isn't too great. Again, deal breaker for our juniors. He's probably going to be leaving come the end of the year. Deal breaker for this guy, playing time, he's probably going to be leaving. Championship contender, he's going to be leaving. Pro potential, he's going to be leaving. Brand exposure, he'll probably be leaving. Championship contender, he's going to be leaving. This isn't going to be fun. It's going to be hard, and I'm probably going to be losing some players. On that note, I have actually adjusted how many players can leave. So these are what we're playing. Heisman, so I won't be playing the games. I prefer to slow sim and watch them. I just find it better that way. You know, I build the team, I watch them play, because I am terrible at this. I really am. I didn't grow up playing Madden or college football, so getting on the sticks is not a good idea. I have put coach firing CPU only. This is going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy challenge. So the first few years are going to be awful, which would probably lead to me being fired, and well, that's just no fun. I want to see this through to the end. So coach firing is off. Coach XP normal. I did have it on slow last year, only because that was only level 50. Now they've put it up to 100 max level. I can keep with a normal. Injury is on. I shouldn't be punished by upgrading my own players, so the 0 progression XP penalty. I did pre-order the game, but the bonus will have it off. 12 minutes, accelerated clock, wear and tear off. Now I have gone through, and as I'm sure many people will know, Mat 10 is the best for the sliders. So I've gone through and just used his sliders. I think we're on version 3 currently, and that should be correct. But what I was on about, max transfers per team. The original was on 20. I've put it down to 15. I think the average last year was 15 players a team transferred in real life. So we're just going to stick with that, I believe. I don't want to lose all the players, and yeah, it just be bloody awful. These 255, and yeah, so that's how the settings are for this dynasty. And now we will go back to checking out the team. Wide receiver room does start off nicely with a sophomore who is our best wide receiver, and his deal breaker is playing time, so we shouldn't be losing him. And then we've got a bunch of oldies. Senior, I mean, his Brad deal breaker is not going to be good for us, but he's leaving. Playing time, we can do that for Walker. Brand exposure, again, not good. Championship contender, not good. Brand exposure, not good. Conference prestige, yeah, pretty bad. And pro potential there. So we're going to lose a few players again at wide receiver, so it's not looking good for us. Tight end, I mean, you're a senior, so you're going anyway. Freshman, pro potential, that's not good. The chances of us getting any players drafted this early on, slim, so that pro potential isn't going to get any better, which is a shame. Offensive line. Now, I love building up an offensive line. I'm an Eagles fan in real life. I'm used to having elite offensive line. So, my recruiting processes and drafting when I'm playing Madden, I target O-line. I want the best O-line there is. So you're going to see me try and heavily recruit the best I can in the O-line. Because this one isn't great. We've got 67, 67, 67. Not that good at left tackle. Left guard again, not that great. Playing style was the deal breaker there, which we are failing. Not failing for Miller though, and brand exposure. That's a big one for this team. Well, a championship contender, which is, you think if you're joining Rice, the championship contender is never going to be a thing. So I don't know what. It's a bit of a harsh one to have for a low team. We're never going to be winning the Natty. So why come here? That shouldn't be a deal breaker. Hopefully that gets sorted. I don't know. Can they really patch it? I don't know. I know a lot of people are complaining about deal breakers online, so it's not just me being a whiny little bitch. Although it could be. You never know. But yes, our defense is slightly better than our offense, but again, these deal breakers are going to be the end of us. Especially for the ones that have people that have pro potential. We're not going to have anyone drafted, so that's not going to get any better. We're not going to do much here. At least playing style is something we can potentially have an influence on. But from this, I'm only going to be sort of trying to draft players that one, are interested, and two, have deal breakers that aren't horrendous. So we're looking at proximity to home, playing time, because they're the two that can, really, really help us. Championship contender. I mean, we're not going to be trying to recruit anyone having that, because that's something we can't give them. As it looks like we're going to be losing majority of our corner room, not only through deal breakers, but they are all seniors essentially. So, going to recruit cornerbacks hard this year. And this is the rest of the team. Yeah, it's not looking too great. We're going to be losing quite a few people. I'm going to have to be recruiting hard. And speaking of which, coach abilities, I have gone with tactician. That is the route I am going to go with. Whilst recruiter would be nice, I'm going to try and aim for my offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator to be the recruiters, which unfortunately for me, these two are not. So we will look to get rid of them come the end of the year. So the only limit I come to, house rule I give myself when recruiting, I only go after players that have starting interest, whether that be us number 1 or number 10. I don't see the point in trying to chase after people who don't have any interest in coming to the school. I think it's more fun going for people who actually want to be here. It makes recruiting a little bit easier. So that's the house rule. We're just going to go for people who think Rice is a good fit for them. I maybe should have casted a little smaller of a net, but offering the scholarships gives you a +5 every week, so it helps. It can get people wanting to come, even though you don't offer any recruiting points every week. That's the hope. But immediately, I want this Eric Beach guy. So his deal breaker is a proximity to home. That's something we're never going to have to worry about. 92 throw power, 88 speed, 88 acceleration. Look at his accuracy. This guy is a beast. We are going to be throwing everything we can at this guy every week. But yes, this is going to be our first recruiting class, and hopefully pretty good. Now, as for this series, what are we going to be doing? I think for the first 2 seasons, we're not going to be watching any games, because it's going to be players that we don't care about. Obviously, the first year is nothing. Next year will be the red shirt year for all of our recruits, and then the year after, that's when we're going to start watching games and seeing our players. So the first couple of years, It's going to be pretty quick. We'll get through them in a couple of episodes. Then we will start watching some games. And not every game, because we're still going to be at a low level. Those games aren't going to be important. They aren't going to be that good. It's more of once we start getting promoted and up the leagues, then the games will become more interesting, or they'll be actually playing good teams. So yeah, I'll get forward a few weeks, see how the recruiting's looking, and drop back in. Quite frankly, this is it's embarrassing. We're into week 12, and this is the first guy who has committed to us. We have lost out on so many people, so many battles. It's embarrassing. Week 12, one commit. It just can't keep up. It doesn't help that we have an awful record. We are 3-8, 2-6 in the conference, and yeah, just no one wants to come here. So this was a tragic first season for us as we went 3-9. We narrowly avoid getting relegated to the Independents. That falls to New Mexico State Aggies. So I've got to go through now the championship games, see who won, see who gets promoted, and see who gets relegated. But yeah, this first season, I'm not even going to look at the stats. It was horrendous. We still have rarely recruited anyone this year. It's not gone well. The start of this video, the start of this series is not good. So here is where all the admin comes into work. So, the SEC Championship was won by Texas. Obviously, there's going to be no promotions there because you can't get higher than the SEC. Next up, we have the Big 12, which was won by Miami, the championship. So Miami will get promoted up to the SEC, whilst LSU, who were bottom of the SEC, they will go down. Big 10, South Carolina will go up to the Big 12. The Pac-12 was won by Kansas State, so they'll go up to the Big 10. ACC was won by Georgia Tech, so they go up to the Pac-12. The Mountain West Conference was won by Duke, so they go to the ACC. Into the American, Navy won that, so they go up to the Mountain West. The MAC was won by USF, so they go to the American. Sunbelt was won by UAB, they go up to the MAC. And Central was won by Jax State, so they go up to the Sunbelt. Now, with the Independents, obviously they don't have any conference championship games, so what I have based it on, because they haven't played each other either, so it's just going to be the win-loss record. So Kent State have the most. They will be moving up to join us in the CUSA next year. And if we go look at the conference standings, you will see teams which will be relegated. So yes, LSU 1-7 in the conference, they are going down. If we go to the Big 12, USC finish bottom of the pile. So then we go on to the win-loss record, which was the same as Washington. And then we go to the points for, which was won by Washington, nearly 30 points more. Big 10, NC State finished bottom. There are a few at 2-6s, but with the 3-9 record, they will be going down. Pac-12 falls to North Carolina, the only 1-7 team there, so they are going down to the ACC, who are losing Washington State from this year. Going over to the Mountain West, Army didn't win a single game in conference. They are going down to the American. It's funny to them, Army and Navy are swapping places. And going down in the American, we have Troy. So 2-7s, but they have the worst 4-8 record overall. Down into the MAC, we have Coastal Carolina. who are the worst, didn't win a single conference game. Into the two Sunbelt divisions, Eastern Michigan with an 0-6 record in the conference. We will be seeing you later as they, well, we'll be seeing them next year as they come and join us in Central. And going down in our division is New Mexico State. So New Mexico State Aggies will become independent, and we will be joining by Kent State and Eastern Michigan next year. So we have two new recruiters. Tony White, he has got unlocked tactician, strategist and recruiter. The only problem is we've been lied to. So he's not put any hours or not put any unlocks into recruiter, and he's also not put any hours into strategist. So he's unlocked them, just not put anything into them. And unfortunately, it's the same for my offensive coordinator. He's into recruiter, but he's not bloody unlocked anything. So yeah, new staff, but nothing. They don't bring anything to the table. What a shame. So let's go through and have a look at stats on the year for everyone. This is going to be our little universe, so let's see what happened. So leading the way in passing yards was Julian Sayin with Ohio with nearly 5,000. Touchdowns was Kevin Jennings at SMU. Speaking of which, SMU, they took that dual threat quarterback with the high throw power and the high speed. He committed to them in like week 4, I think it was, so there was zero chance we were ever going to get him. 44 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. What a year for him. Rushing wise, leading the way was Jaden Bach with nearly 2,000 rushing yards, and he led the way with touchdowns as well with 25. What a year from him. He's only a sophomore. That is fantastic. Receiving wise, Chaz Nimrod with no physical abilities or no mental abilities led the league in receiving yards and tied with touchdowns. Defensive wise, most tackles went to Grayson Howard of Florida. Most TFLs, Kyle Lewis of Pittsburgh with 26. He led the way with 19.5 sacks as well. What a year for him. Interceptions wise, Keith Abney II, Arizona with 6. Let's look at some awards. The Heisman winner was Clade Kubnik, the QB from Clemson. I'll quickly cycle through now the all the other awards for you to have a quick look at. So there's quite a few, so we'll just spend a couple of seconds on each. So you can just have a look at who won what. So we are about to lose 36 players, which is always fun, isn't it? I have 2 persuasion attempts, and the majority of these players have 0 interest in coming back. So I'm just going to have to try and choose the best 2 people to try and commit. I think Drew DeVilliers starting QB. I think it'd be nice for him to try and stay. Nope. I get 1 more attempt. I'm very low is probably with the best option rather than extremely low. But we do need QBs. I might have to try Patrick Clayton even though the persuasion chance is extremely low. Come on. 1 time. So we are here on National Signing Day, We did end up with 34 players signing, but it is a bit underwhelming considering how good it looks like it could have been at the start of the year with all these good players. It ended up with not so many good people, but let's go through them and have a look who's going to be joining us at Rice Owls for next year. So a lot of these people, obviously they haven't been scouted because hardly any of them remained from the beginning of the year. We've got Zach Tobin, Byron Breeze and Stephen Irvin, all QBs, all normal development. Onto running backs, with an impact in Jeff Chancey, a north-south receiver, so going forward he'll probably be our guy. Wide receivers, we got a few 3-stars in toward the end, which does help a little bit, but overall still pretty poor class, especially with all being normal. Tight ends, couple of 2-stars, just both normal. Tackles, I really wanted more, but unfortunately we weren't able to. Same at guard. A nice little 3-star in Cameron Griffin does help. We do have an impact dev on Zach Slater. Centre, I grabbed one dude and he's a normal. Only one edge, Jaden Robinson, he was a normal. I need to transfer junior, so I've not got long left with him. Dalton Dog, a 1-star defensive tackle with a normal. Couple of outside linebackers, although they're all wheels. Doyle, Ahinacho and Crawford, all normal. Some Mikes, all normal, but 3 of them being 3-stars is quite nice. Only 2 corners. Corner is a room we're struggling for. I think we're going to have a few walk-ons on our team next year. Got some safeties, only 1 impact, and that's a 1-star dude, and 1 star strong safety in Leo St. John. Overall, a piss poor class. I imagine we're probably going to be in the hundreds somewhere, but let's scroll down and have a look. Probably one of the worst in our conference as well. Just a very poor year. Even after going for the guys who were interested, we come 76. I suppose that's maybe because of our how many people we've got boosted us up a little bit. Might as well have a look at this. Wow. Okay, we're top of our conference. I wasn't expecting that, but again, that's probably just through the sheer number of people we got. I mean, we did get 16 3-stars, which is hell of a lot clearer than the rest of the people in our division. But before going off tangent, so obviously I targeted a lot of people who were interested in coming here. A lot of people where we were number 1 at the start of the year for recruits. I guess just poor play. I mean, we had a terrible start to the year. That didn't help. And with the strength of us, it being even worse going into next year, it's not going to look much better. I mean, as it says, we are currently rated 58 overall. Let's just get into the position changes and have a look. 58 overall, 56 offense, 61 defense. We will upgrade the players though in the off-season trading boost and see where we end up after that. And after all the upgrades, we are now up to a 64 overall, 64 offense and 64 defense. So I was going to go through the team and show you all the new rookies. They're underwhelming. None of them have any amazing skill cap groups, and overall it's a bit crap, to be honest. I mean, we do have the this kicker who I got in last minute. He comes in as one of the best players on the team already. 3-star kicker. His skill caps aren't amazing, but we can get his accuracy up a few more, get his kick power up a few more. But overall, it was an underwhelming class. That has the potential to change a little bit this year because, well, it gives me some hope. We have an instant commit, and that is Cordell Brutus. His deal breaker being a proximity to home means the chances of him flipping to another team are slim to none. You know, if it was playing style or whatever and we were playing awful, then obviously he would look to jump ship. But as it stands, we have the number 1 class in the country. Stop the count. But with him already instant committed to us, let's run through the rest of the players. So yeah, as usual, just going for the players who are already interested. We do have 2 QBs who have us at number 1. Purdue is number 2 behind them, so we'll have to throw everything we can at these 2 to make sure we can get them in. But what I'm primarily going to focus on this year is offensive line and cornerback. We currently have 4 corners on the roster. Yeah, it ain't great. So these 4 are going to get the 50 a week. The QBs might get the 50. I think I only get 350. So that's 7. And then I'm going to have to try and work out what I want to do with the offensive line. So these 2, you can see we're top 10, interest 10. So they don't really want to be here. At least Moss does have us in 2nd place. Got 2nd, 3rd here, and we don't actually go for any centres. So I'm going to have to work out how I do my hours. But yeah, offensive line and cornerback going to be our pressing matters this year. Now, if you remember, when I hired these 2 coordinators, they had 0 abilities. When I was scouting the players, the recruits, I noticed the scouting was going pretty quickly. Finally, the stats have shown up for our coordinators. So yes, our offensive coordinator has unlocked at least this first starting thing in every category, which is awesome. He really likes kickers and punters, so I guess we'll always have a chance of recruiting some decent ones then. And even though he's a offensive coordinator, he has leaned heavily into the defense here. I'm not complaining. That is brilliant and exactly what I was after. And then moving on to the defensive coordinator, we can see how he has also put hours now into the recruiting, and more importantly, the strategist. This is going to help our visits on linebackers and the secondary. This is perfect. I needed help with the corners this year, and this guy is going to help me. The visits are going to have bigger impacts on the corners, so we are going to go all out for the corners. It looks like these 2, if they don't get poached away, I could see these 2 being our offensive and defensive coordinators for a long time. Brilliant stuff. Finally, some good news in this series. We are in week 8 and things are going better than it was at this rate last year. We are 3-4 currently, with 3-1 in the conference, which is awesome. Already it looks like we're going to be clear of relegation, considering how close we were last year. And moving on to recruiting, things are looking a lot better already. We've already got 6 commits, and we're winning battles for quite a few others as well. But currently we have a receiver, a left tackle, a left guard, a corner, right tackle and corner. Considering offensive line and corners were what I was trying to focus on, it's been a good start. Though I could do with a couple more corners and maybe have 1 or 2 more tackles. But as it stands, things are going pretty well. Hopefully when we come back toward the end of the season, we'll be keeping up and doing a lot better. It is Conference Championship week. As you see at the top, we finished 8-4. We are unlucky to miss out on making the Conference Championship, but yeah, this was a much better year than last year. A bit of a blip here with 3 losses in a row, but we finished the year out extremely strong with 6 wins in a row. yeah, I'm very happy with this. This is the direction which I thought we'd potentially go. Maybe not as strong as 8-4 with an 8-1 conference record, but I thought maybe we could just about break even on the year, potentially go positive just, but this was an outstanding year for us. So we're unlucky to miss out on getting into the conference championship game, as us, Hawaii and Buffalo all finish 8-1 in the conference, but these two will be fighting out for the championship, and one of these two teams will be promoted. Hopefully it will be us next year, but not this year. And as to be expected, we do get into a bowl with Missouri. As we finish 8-4, we are facing the Independence Bowl against the Missouri Tigers. We won't be watching this. We'll skip to next week, and hopefully we will win a bowl for the first time in this series. Are we bowl winners? We are not. That is fine. Time to do the admin now, work out who gets promoted and who gets relegated. So I've gone through and we have worked it out, so let's have a look at the winners and the losers going up and down this year. So winners of the SEC were Ohio. In the Big 12 going up, we have Auburn. In the Big 10, Arizona State are going up into the Big 12. In the Pac-12 going up, we have Louisville, who beat Pittsburgh. In the ACC, we have Duke, who have now gone through a double promotion. So they were in the MWC last year, got promoted into the ACC, and got promoted again up into the Pac-12 for them. In the NWC, we have Mississippi State going up. Shooting over to the American, Army, who got relegated last year and have now got promoted straight away from the American back up to the MWC. Moving over to the MAC, we have UAB, who are going up. Sunbelt conferences, UTEP come out on top, so they go up to the MAC. And in our division, going up this year is Hawaii, who beat Buffalo. We could have been in that, shame we weren't. And whilst there is no conference championships for the independent, as you will see just now, Akron do go up, and New Mexico State Aggies looks like they may be resigned to living in the independents for quite some time. Now we move on to the relegation, starting with the SEC. We have Notre Dame, who go 1-7 in the conference, so they will be relegated. Into the Big 12, relegation this year is for Colorado, tied with Washington, tied on the wins and losses outside the conference, but as they scored 2 points less, they are going down. Into the Big 10 now, we have Wisconsin, who were tied with Iowa again, with on same for the wins and losses overall, but as they scored 14 points less, Wisconsin are being relegated from the Big 10 into the Pac-12. Into the Pac-12 we have NC State. Now my memory is awful, but I'm pretty sure they got relegated last year as well. So they, if that is true, they are facing a back-to-back relegations. They will be playing in the ACC. And in the ACC, Kansas Jayhawks will be going down as they finish with 3-9 overall, with a couple of ties there. Moving over to the MWC, the team going down this year is Oregon State. Whilst there was a few on 2-6, their overall record of 3-9 isn't enough to save them. It condemns them down to the American. And it's clearly Texas State, who finished 0-9, 1-11 overall on the season. they go down to the MAC. In the MAC, the team relegated is Middle Tennessee. They are going down to the Sun Belt, where they will be replacing UTEP and whichever of the two divisions in the Sun Belt they are in. But in the Sun Belt, the team going down, joining us next year, will be Temple Owls. So we're going to have Temple Owls v the Rice Owls, the Owl rivalry. And then in our division, going down to the Independents, it will be Delaware, who didn't win a single game all year. So Delaware go down to the Independents, and joining us will be Akron. They get out of the independent hell. Good for them. I suppose after a semi-decent year, we can actually look at the stats of our players to see how we did. Unlike last year where we were so awful, I had no desire to look. AJ Padgett in his final year here, 24 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, just over 3,000 yards. Really not bad, but even if he wasn't a senior, his brand exposure deal breaker means we were probably going to lose him anyway. Over onto the rushing, we have Tyvon Bars, the sophomore, just over 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. His deal breaker is also brand exposure, so we might be losing him. If not, Dalian Alexander, who is a junior, might be an able backup. Our championship contender, thanks to doing quite well, is going to keep quite a few players here, thankfully. We will see. Receiving wise, no 1,000-yard receiver, but nearly 900 for Drayden Dickman with 6 touchdowns. Ransom goals, 751 with 6 touchdowns. He will be staying with us with his A playing time, thankfully, so at least we're going to have a semi-decent wide receiver 1 going into next year and his senior year. Defensive wise, we do have a 100 tackler on the year in Caleb Blanton, a sophomore Mike linebacker. Playing style means we might be losing him, but we might just be able to keep him in a persuasion attempt, hopefully. TFL's leading the way is Dion Crawford, the senior, and Joseph Mutombo with 11. Both of them facing deal breakers, so we might be losing out on them. And Dion Crawford and Mutombo both leading the way with sacks. Interceptions, really not good enough. Only 4 on the year. Yeah, it's pretty poor. But let's see how the rest of the league did. So leading the way in the passing yards with a little bit over 5,000, Christopher Vezina of Clemson. A very, very strong year for him there. Marcel Reed leading the way with 48 touchdowns for Ohio State. And only 12 interceptions. That's a very solid year, just under 5,000 from him as well. Bloody lovely. Rushing wise, 1,600 rushers in Micah Ford, Cade Yakameli and Isaac Brown. Touchdown leader though, look at that, we are tied with Scott Drew Humphrey and Kanye Udo, both with 25. Outstanding year for both of them. Receiving wise, TJ Moore leading the way with 1,741 with 10 touchdowns. And Jeremiah Smith, who won the Heisman with 1,692 with 15 touchdowns. But leading the way with most touchdowns via receiving is Traylon Ray from Ole Miss with 18. Defensive wise, most tackles goes to Gavin Moore with 122. TFL's leading the way was Jerry Bledsoe with 26. Most sacks, Stanquan Clark, 15. That is a great year sack-wise for him. And leading the way with interceptions, we have 7, tied at the top. 3 of them, Singletary, Masco, and Lewis. That year was fantastic for us. We were only a 1.5 star, but we have jumped up a full star, going up to 2.5. I thought we'd just be a 2-star school. But that brilliant year has put a great leap forward for us. So brand exposure, we still might lose a couple of them. but we can give it a go at trying to convince them. Pro potential we knew was always going to be awful, so that's not something we have to worry about because we're not going to be recruiting players on the pro potential. So this should be the last year. Well, the last year we majorly get affected. There might be 1 or 2 players next year with pro potential, but let's just get rid of them now because that's not something we're going to care about. Playing style we don't care about. Conference prestige C-. Yeah, we do really need to get out of this conference. We are second worst. We need to try and get up and start doing good. I mean, look at that, the independence C+, not good enough. Coach prestige was a big issue that we had. A few of the players were looking to leave, but after a solid year we have gone up to a C, which is awesome. So it's not as severe as last year. Last year we were losing 36 players. It's only potentially 29 this year, but we do have 6 persuasions. We only had 2 last season, so hopefully we can try keep some players. Now there are a couple of people that I really would like to keep, like Tavon Bars, who led the way this year for us at running back with just over 1,000 yards. And he's only a sophomore, so we could have him for another 3 years. He still needs to be redshirted if possible. Considering we might also lose another backup running back as well. Let's hope our extreme low persuasion chance will work on Bars. Come on, one time. Okay. Who else would we like to try and keep? Freshmen obviously are the ones we would like to try and invest on. So Carlos Spam, can we successfully persuade you to stay? Nope. 2 down, 2 to go. 71 freshman centre, Coulter Alberding. It'd be nice to keep him. No. Half of our persuasion attempts gone and none of them have worked so far. Will Schwartz, who's an alright tight end, it would be nice to try and keep him. Reason for leaving pro potential, yeah, that's not really going to do too much. He isn't going to be staying. We've lost 1 running back. Can we try and keep the other in Taji Atkins? Nope. So we have used 5 persuasion attempts and not a single one has worked. I think the last one we're going to use is Caleb Blanton, sophomore red shirt, Mike linebacker. Persuasion chance low. Can we beat the odds? Nope, 6 persuasion attempts, all of them have failed. Moving on, we lose 29 players. Signing day is here, so let's go through and see whether we had any good dev traits as well as seeing just who I've signed. So we've got 3 QBs which we needed. Jamario Cena comes out with an impact. We've got a star in Amika Nwusu, who is hopefully going to be our future starting quarterback, and Louis Witherspoon with an impact. So yes, Amika Nwusu, he is going to be redshirted and develop and then come back into his freshman redshirt season as our starting QB. Moving over to running backs. Yes, I signed 4 of them. I didn't think I was going to, but losing 2, I panicked and got in a couple more as well. So we've got normal, impact, star from Gordon Bayer, the contact seeker, and normal for Folsom. 2 stars already is something I'm very happy about. Receiver, impact, normal, and impact. We do have now a pretty stacked wide receiver room in terms of numbers, not really quality. But 3 stars here, the quality is going to get better in the long run. And obviously, Cordell Brutus, we like him because he's the one insta-committed. A 6'3 speedster. We'll have to look at his stats and attributes shortly. No tight ends were brought in this year. Offensive tackle, I did want to get in more, however we struggled. Both of them with a normal. Offensive guard, 2 3 stars, impact and normal. Troy Smith we did get in as a transfer, he comes in as a junior. Centre, we've got a well-rounded Dorian Loper who comes in at a normal dev trait. Edge, a bit poor this year recruiting wise, 2 stars, impact normal and normal. A 2-star defensive tackle with normal, a 1-star normal and a 3-star normal outside linebacker. Mike linebacker, we have normal 2-star and an elite 3-star in Dante Foster. That is what you love to see. Corners, quantity rather than quality, but we do come in with 4 3-stars, 2 impacts and 2 normals. Safety, 2 3-stars, both normal. And again in strong safety we've got a normal 2-star and a 3-star impact. I did go after a punter as well, one because we had the room, and our normal starting punter is going to go into his senior year, so let's get his back up now. But that is fantastic. Dante Foster with the elite. Let's go in and have a look at his skill caps. Hopefully they aren't too horrendous. And we can look at that speed star wide receiver who insta committed. I'm just curious to see what his speed is like. Brutus, 90 speed, 89 acceleration. Not too bad. Let's look at the skill caps for a couple of other players like Amika and Wusu. So his deal breaker is playing time A+. That's not going to be an issue. Although redshirting him, I don't know whether that's going to affect the playing time, because obviously he's not going to be playing. We'll see. And of course I can't see him because he is new. We'll look into him and Dante Foster after the off-season training boosts. So after all the off-season training boosts, we're up to 66 overall, 66 offense and 66 defense. Now I nearly clicked through the custom conferences, but I was able to realise at the last second that I needed to go ahead and do it. So all the conferences are as they should be. Relegations and promotions have been put into play as they should have been. Alright, let's have a look at the couple of players that we wanted to. So we've got Nwusu, who does have the star dev trait. What are his skill caps like? They are pretty good. I might have to do some research whether redshirting affects the play-in time online, because I genuinely don't know, and it would be awful to lose this guy because we redshirted him instead of playing him straight away. This guy's obviously not going to win the Heisman. He's not going to, be drafted in the first round, but he is looking pretty good. Ignore that message. Just message to a friend about playing Apex all night, and he obviously seemed pretty interested about that. So yes, his skill caps, they're pretty decent, but he's never going to be outstanding. But for us, that's going to be a good player. There's also a star running back, if I remember correctly. Here it is in Gordon Bayer. His dev trait deal breaker is brand exposure. Hopefully we can continue to win some games this year and increase the brand exposure. And look at that, his skill caps are brilliant. He can go up a lot in quickness, go all the way in elusiveness, hands can get a lot better, route running can get a lot better, so can his IQ. He's a guy we want to keep hold of, so we need to increase our brand exposure. And then the dude, Dante Foster with the elite dev trait. Deal breaker is playing style, so hopefully that doesn't become an issue. But let's look at his skill caps. Oh, that is what you like to see. Go all the way in IQ, pretty good quickness, nearly all the way power, nearly all the way run stopping, all the way pass coverage. This could be the guy to hitch our wagon to. Got no problem redshirting him. But yeah, so that's it. We're through the first 2 seasons. The promotion and relegation has worked. The game hasn't broken with these custom conferences. I'm very happy with how it's gone. Obviously last season was very promising. hopefully we can build on that and make a conference championship game this year. But that will be the end of this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. Goodbye.